Okay, we have for absence Councillor Jane Ray, and we have Councillor Alistair Ray substituting for her.
And we have minutes from the last meeting, and then it's everybody happy with them.
Okay. So for those of you who were present, happy with the minutes? Yeah.
Item 4, chairman's report, items.
No, you have need for those, Chair.
Public questions in accordance with Standing Order 22.
No, none of those have been received either.
Letters of objection.
No, we've got none of those either.
So we turn to page 8. For applications registered week ending the 28th of the 3rd, the 4th of the 4th, and the 11th of the 4th. Starting with 525 Bayview, please. Motions.
Just get the street scenes up on the screen. Okay, number 6 Medlows. Property is detached with good space around the boundary, with further space from the neighbouring boundaries to their dwellings. Proposal is looking to demolish the existing setback detached garage and replace it with a 2-storey side extension with a forward projection of 4 metres. This projection falls in line with the front building line number 7 Meadows due to the positioning of the application property on the plots being set further back from number 7. The extension will expand the ground floor living accommodation and add a further bedroom at the first floor level, which will be 5 in total. Despite the loss of garage, there is ample parking provision to accommodate several cars on the frontage, not conservation area and no tree works. There are no objections online, and I recommend or say consider no objection.
Yeah. Okay. 520, 25, 83, 64, criteria, so we're going to 525, 85, in green, please.
The proposal is for the installation of replacement signs to include one double-sided pictorial panel to the existing swing signpost at the front, although this signpost currently appears to be removed. One single-sided apex panel with individual letters above the entrance door, one brass lantern above the entrance door, and one door back fitting next to the front door. Only the post-swing sign includes lighting, which is in the form of 2 LED spotlights. Although from previous street scene photos, the swing sign did not appear to have any form of lighting, there was a precedent set in the vicinity for lighting based on post signage for Lusson's and the Waffle House. All signage is to replace existing tired and out-of-date signage. The materials and use of colour is in keeping with the Grade 2 listed building and does not appear to deviate much from that which is already in place. In addition to being Grade 2 listed, the property sits in the Hartland Conservation Area. And I say consider no objections subject to compliance with policies ESD2 and ESD3 of the neighbourhood plan, and policies 85, 87 and 90 of the district plan affairs. There's no advice from the Historic England in relation to this application, i.e. they're not particularly moved by it. And the SADC design and conservation are happy with it and believe that it will preserve and enhance the listed building in the conservation area.
It's isn't it where Frank Sawdon was born?
What, the house at the on the green? I don't know.
Used to be where.
Was it a private house then before it was a pub?
It must have been back in the day, yeah.
Anyway.
I think the new sign looks nice, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So we move on to 525, which is just 19.
Okay. Property is attached but with a minimal gap to the boundaries of the neighbouring properties Proposal is a ground floor looking to fill in the gap at the rear to fall in line with the existing side building line. The first floor extending over a large proportion of the ground floor extension element to relocate existing bedroom to enable bathroom facilities to be added. There's no increase in bedrooms in the existing floor. The drawings depict the 45-degree visibility zone that's not being impeded for number 36, Chatterton Avenue. However, this may not be accurate based on the positioning of the properties in relation to each other on the site location plan. Not conservation area, and I've said no objection, subject to no loss of meter number 36 Chesterton Avenue from the proposed first floor element of the extension. Policy is to be plan and policy 72 of the district effects.
Isn't it? The front and the back are the same.
Yes, yeah.
It's not a shape, isn't it?
Number 36 hasn't.
There are no objections, no.
Are we all happy with that?
Yes. Yeah, makes it tidier.
Sometimes to tell these 45-degree visibility zones, because unless you're actually physically there, you have to slightly guess where the neighbours' windows are.
Right.
So we'll move on to 5/20/25/24 Round Glen, please, Helen.
Okay, the main elements in the proposal are the two-storey rear extensions. The ground floor element will extend 6 metres rearwards from the main rear building line and approximately 2 metres beyond the existing dining room or dining area projection. A first floor is proposed to add 2 separate extension elements. The left-hand element will extend 4 metres and the right-hand element by 3.5 metres. Both extensions have gabled roofs. Ground floor to the front, the existing flat roof porch is to be replaced with a pitched roof addition along with 2 bay windows. Number 26 Bramble Lane is a good distance away in the 45-degree visibility zone, but number 24 has been shown to not be impeded from the first floor extension. There are no additional bedrooms being added, just reconfiguration. There is good screening along the boundary lines, and there are no tree works and it's not a conservation area. So there's no objection.
There are other houses that size along that.
Yes.
Street as well, aren't there?
So being an A, it's an infill
Yeah.
already. But yes, I think sort of you can see from there that there's, there's in theory, I think 24A was set slightly further forward a bit from 24, which helps to not have a problem with the rear.
Mainly just makes those the attic more useful, doesn't it?
I think so,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's quite a shallow pitched roof.
Yeah, so when you see it from there, there is.
Yeah.
Okay, happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like their lock one colour. I could do one of those.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
I
I think it must be, if you look, it must be some sort of strange gradient to garden, because there's sort of what looks like a bit of a half there.
Yeah.
Probably just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it out the way, isn't it? And then-
Well, I was thinking of the dogs. The dog disappeared. That was funny. Yeah.
Okay, we're all happy with that, so.
Yes.
we're on to 5/20/25/0414, which is 37 Welbeck Rise, please.
Okay, this committee considered the refused application at the end of last year, which was refused by the LPA due to it being viewed that the proposed windows, scale and materials in combination with the raising of the ridge height would be out of keeping with the locality. This committee also expressed concerns over the increase in ridge height in that application. This resubmission application is the same proposal, save for a small reduction for 1 metre rear projection to the dormer window and the metal cladding to the dormer sides replaced with hanging tiles to be more in keeping with the street scene. Relevant points in the previous application are the proposal is looking to add single-storey extensions to the front and rear, a first floor extension over the ground floor extension to the front, and an increase in the roof ridge height with the rear dormer to accommodate a bedroom and a bathroom in the loft space. The existing bedroom at first floor is becoming a study. All extensions stretch across the full width of the property, with an element stepped in on the ground floor front extension to prevent the 45-degree visibility zone being impacted for number 39 Welbeck Rise. The ridge height is increasing by approximately 1 metre. There do not appear to be any other properties that have extended the ridge height in the vicinity. property's positioning in the row is not uniform, with number 35 set further forward with the garage side, which reduces the impact on them from the proposed two-storey front extension. Number 39 is also set further forward, with the front building line falling in line with the proposed front extension. The property has a garage and one off-street parking space to the rear. As per the plans, the property is not increasing in bedrooms, therefore this is sufficient. There are no tree works and it is not a conservation area. And I've said, consider no objection subject to the reasons for refusal in application 5/2024/2219 being fully addressed.
I struggle to see looking at the pictures, how the refused and the proposed are different.
All they've done is ultimately, if I can try and sort of kind of pinpoint, they have reduced, it's not particularly bright, they've reduced the depth of the ridge, of the dormer by 1 metre. So that's the refused one, and then they've reduced it by 1 metre here.
Ah, see, it's quite faint, isn't
Yeah,
it?
very faint, and you can see here that
So it's like the depth of it that they've,
much larger there and a much bit softer, yeah.
it just doesn't look like it's any lower down the roof, but it's not, it's just further in.
It does project out.
Fine, got it.
Yeah, so I think it's sort of, you can just about see here that it's reduced it.
Yeah,
Go
so faint, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, it's not, it's
You can
not
see the
really
little red line, yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
This.
This.
So we've got 5 questions, 71 Top Street Lane.
Okay, for the property to the left-hand side of a pair of semi-detached dwellings, demolition of the existing detached garage that is positioned beyond the rear building line is proposed, with a single integral garage added as part of the application. Proposals at ground floor are to extend across the full width of the rear, from side boundary to side boundary, extending 6 metres beyond the existing rear building line, along the boundary number 73, Topsy Way, extending the same distance over the footprint and beyond the existing ground floor shower room and store along the boundary number 69. A first floor, a partial rear and side extension is proposed to relocate an existing bedroom and allow the conversion of the bedroom to a study room. The plans do not depict an increase in bedrooms, although the property could become a 4-bedroom property if the study was utilised as a bedroom. The side extension is stepped in by 1 metre and the rear element extends only 3 metres, which falls in line with the rear building line number 73 and therefore does not impede the 45-degree visibility zone. There are no details of proposed change to the frontage, therefore on the basis of what is currently there, parking provision for one part of street and another space in the proposed integral garage. This is sufficient for a 4-bedroom property, not conservation area and no tree works. So consider no objection subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. Policy is to serve the neighbour plan and to serve district plan effects.
It looks like it's effectively going to be a mirror image of the one on the left.
Yes.
Or they're doing a very similar thing, garage,
Bigger up.
stepped in.
It's bigger out the back than the one on the left.
Yeah.
The one on the left doesn't go out the back.
Right.
I think they've extended to the side, I think, haven't they? Yeah.
So it goes the same as the other one on the side, but then on the back, it's
It's the
basically a
further,
garage was at the back. It's
Moved
turned
up
to a
that.
single-story extension.
yeah.
A lot bigger house. When they've done it, everybody else will do it.
You can see there in this picture here that although they haven't extended to 2-storey level, they've gone up to their boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've come out a bit, though, haven't they? A little bit.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, Top Street Way is a strange one, where you get these sort of kind of little strange additions that add a little bit of extra space, but don't go to the full height of the roof, the ridge line.
Yeah.
But it's also, you've got detached houses as well as semi-detached houses. You know, it's a real mix and muddle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to tell us in fact.
Well, no, because of by having it at, like in this picture here, it isn't a terracing effect by not going up to the boundary at first floor level.
That's
By
right, they're
stepping
stepping
it
in, isn't
in,
it?
yeah. And then they also reduce the ridge height as well to just make it less dominant, intrusive.
That was good.
A nightmare, that All those, isn't it, for the,
Parking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dangerous, I think, that road.
We've got those slowing down points, haven't we?
The difficulty is that in theory, this is where they're being a bit sneaky, in theory, they aren't increasing the number of bedrooms.
yeah, but they are.
But they are.
Yeah. And this is the one also, come to too many of these meetings, where there's the allotments in behind it as well, and the parking issue around.
Out the front, yeah.
This is quite a bit further along, admittedly. I think it was number 49, I think was the one that we looked at where it was, I think the allotments are a large size.
Yeah,
Agreed. I think the actual access to the allotments is much further along Top Street Way. I think it's number 49, which is the one we've looked at on a couple of occasions where the gentleman attended from the Allotment Society. But yeah, I think it's just quite a hideous road in terms of speed bumps, parking.
it's a real rat run, because it's, if you don't want to go down south from Piggott's Hill Lane, that's the way across
Yeah.
into the station.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people from Wee Hampstead in the morning going to the station, there's the rat run through there.
I think you'd struggle to get a car in that garage.
At the moment, yes.
Every motorbike.
Yeah.
Either of those garages, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true.
It's more for bikes.
Okay, we have to be there.
Can I have your comment?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So 52503 just go, not two, go, 0466 0445 0471 0472 don't meet the criteria, so we'll have the Methodist Church at 0525 0464, please, Helen.
Okay, currently the main access to the front of the church is up a small flight of steps and through outward opening wooden doors. There is a non-stepped access along the side, however, this requires the use of an awkward section of the ramp with a 90-degree turn to a rear lobby through a narrow single door. Internally, there are more doors that are difficult for wheelchair users to negotiate independently. This proposal is to provide new ramped and stepped access to the front entrance, replacement of entrance doors with new automated sliding door, provision of a new ramped access to the side/rear entrance, and alterations to increase the width of the side/rear entrance with a new external door, return screen and canopy. A feasibility study was undertaken to investigate the opportunity of improving accessibility into the building. Two options were considered, which was to retain the main entrance at the front of the building or relocate the main entrance to the rear east side of the building, with a gradual incline from the public highway up to the main floor of the building. There was a consensus that it would be a great detriment to the building and surrounding area to have the entrance tucked away nearly 20 metres back from the public realm and therefore limited visibility and legibility to building access. It must be noted that due to the limited extent of the forecourt area, it has only been possible to accommodate ramp widths of 1330 millimetres. The recommended minimum width is 1500 millimetres. It will therefore be necessary to set out in an access statement to building control that the full requirements for ramp access are unable to be achieved within the constraints of the existing site and building. Due to the restricted area between the front edge of the building and the rear edge of the public highway, there is insufficient space to accommodate a top landing to the steps and ramp that is large enough to be clear of the swing of an outward opening door. It's therefore been necessary to include in the proposal for the existing doors to be replaced with a single automated sliding door and fixed screen to one side. These new arrangements achieve a clear width of 850 millimetres. The site is in the conservation area and the materials proposed have been selected to best enhance and not detract from the existing character of the building and the surrounding area. I've considered an objection. The proposal supports the intentions of the policies SI3 and SI5 for the neighbourhood plan. There are no objections online, including highways.
Is it still a Methodist church?
Well, I believe it's an entertainment, I think it's like a kind of a sports, or they call it, yes. But it's still down as Dresser, South Dunwich.
Yeah, and because it's for West Hertfordshire and Borders Methodist Circuit.
Yeah.
So,
Still presumably own it.
yeah.
performing arts centre.
I think it's been that for a little while, I think.
Makes more sense what they're doing at the front.
It's kind of,
But
when
there's
you
things
look
in
at
here.
what it looks like at the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad thing to just improve it.
Yeah.
With the
I
glass.
think it's important that they get the character right with the doors, because it's quite unique in its design, isn't it, with the really thin windows and then the lines above and then down the side. Needs to not look like someone's just stuck something else on the front of it
Yeah.
from a different era,
Mhm.
even though that's technically what the puppets are doing, yeah.
I think it's probably quite difficult to achieve or, to achieve that design and character whilst actually fulfilling the requirements.
Accessibility,
Yeah.
yeah,
It has to be accessible.
yeah. But I think when they're painted blue, it makes it stand out more than it actually will
Yeah.
when it's just a black frame of doors. It'll be quite subtle.
I think it's kind of, it's brickwork,
Yeah,
with the glass
they can
panels.
match the bricks and everything. It'd be good. Yeah.
Do taking pictures on sunny days because we make it look a bit.
I'm so sorry, I'll speak to Google.
Yeah. Get on it.
That little car next goes down there, it's funny now.
Okay, we'll have that.
Lovely.
Dry cleaners has got an excellent score. 4.9.
Right, so that is it. It's 5:25. So that's it. If anyone has any tree works.
There's nothing on tree works I wanted to draw your attention to, but just a couple of updates on decisions. So if you can recall, turn back your memories to 2023, where we looked at an application for number 1 Carpenter's Close, which is where they have got a raised patio, and the people in the adjacent road had huge concerns and issues over overlooking, and they provided residential photographs.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that a foot too high?
It was, yeah.
Thereabouts.
It has been given planning permission almost 2 years later, or certainly a year later. Yeah.
Wow.
So, so that's.
It was already up there, wasn't
It was.
And what, have they given them any, caveats that they need to put some screening up or anything?
I haven't looked, to be honest, but it's been given planning permission.
Right.
I think if there was,
appearing gallery, wasn't it?
I think if they had major concerns about it. Through the district, yeah. And then lastly, just really as a bit of an update, if you can remember our friend number 1 Wheatfield Road, this one here, where it was refused by district, they went to appeal, the inspector said no, they've been refused again. Because on the basis that, and this is where I partly why I wanted to sort of draw attention to this, because I feel that this particular application has been slightly made a bit of an example of, because it's been refused because it's been deemed that it's not robustly demonstrated that the existing dwelling is no longer fit for purpose. And it is not considered that the increase in density on the site is sufficient to overcome the previous reasons for refusal. That's one of the reasons, and the other reason is that there is no mechanism to secure the proposed dwelling as self-build, therefore ensuring it must be, it would be exempt from the requirement to deliver biodiversity net gain.
I mean,
So-
I think that's ridiculous.
It's, I find, we've never had a problem there.
Yeah.
What they're proposing, because I've sort of got on here, what they're proposing is a relatively, yes,
It's an absolutely standard West Common,
Yeah.
put down, build a new one.
yes.
Everybody else has
What's
done it.
driving the stop, do you think?
So I think.
So we just said, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think what isn't helping their cause is that they are stating that the property is going to be built for their own purpose, which in theory means that they don't have to deliver to the biodiversity net gain requirements.
Yeah.
So if it's to be sold in the open market, they have to obviously comply with that. So that's one of the reasons, which, okay, I think they could potentially get around that by just saying, okay, fine, we'll just do some trees, planting, that would easily be achieved on a large plot like that. I think that can be easily achieved. But I think the main thing that slightly concerns me is the way that they've said no to the demolition of it because it's not been robustly demonstrated that it's not fit for habitable. I find it strange that there are a number of houses that we look at over time, which, in my view,
So in West Common now, the generation beyond that, which were built in the 90s, are now being
demolished. Yeah.
built more.
So
The Derwents will know to think it's still fit for purpose. They could extend it though, couldn't they, and take the roof off and go up and out, but rather than knock it down and.
But I think it's probably questionable that the.
So the problem you have with those, when those ones that are built like that is, for example, it's not pressure treated timber, it doesn't have correct insulation.
Yeah.
Most of those ones that are built like that don't have the full 2 metre foundations that now people want to build with. The guy must have.
Especially if you're putting that amount of weight on it as well, yeah.
I mean, it can't possibly be complying with modern
You
building.
wouldn't have thought so, no.
I looked,
So how it can possibly be,
And they're an absolute disaster for efficiency.
yeah, exactly.
So what do you think is driving it then?
I honestly don't know.
Is it because they're saying it's for their own?
No, I don't think that should have any, I don't think that's the reason why it's being refused.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe what I will do, because I've admittedly only looked today at what this was, I might just do a little bit of further research and reading in the Office of
Yeah,
Employment,
that was.
just to see whether or not there is some further background as to why that is the case. So I just thought I would flag this, because it just feels a little bit like, well, how there's a lack of consistency, I think.
When it's round, it's literally round, so we're here from it, so it's one of the ones sort of.
That you're familiar with, yeah.
And there have, in the 10 years I've been in West Common, there are at least a dozen properties like that that have done exactly the same thing.
But has a new policy come in between?
Well, they are using our Labour plan as being the reasons why it's to be demolished. It should not be demolished, is that they're saying under Labour plan policy H2 and SS1, which we do say, but the reason why we put that in there wasn't for the purposes of this. It was kind of designed, I think, to prevent properties of character and style and design interest from being demolished just sort of willy-nilly, not something which is not in the conservation area of a very basic design and lack of interest.
I think the positive is they haven't subdivided the plot, which every time you see one of these come up, you're worried that they're going to subdivide the plot.
I mean, it is a large plot as well, so it sort of does surprise me.
When it first came up, because it's got the substation there, I thought what somebody would do is subdivide the plot, because you could then put the road beside it, so you don't have the house beside.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Sort of shared driveway. Substation is very horrible.
If you could.
I will do some further research, yeah, I'll do some further research. Well, they've appealed it once before. And then that was
They
straight
went
down.
to planning inspector. Were they the ones who went straight to planning inspector?
I'm not sure that they were. I'll do some further research.
To do the architect is actually, he was doing it.
How he's.
Is it interesting? Also my architect.
Yeah, I don't think
Feels unusual, doesn't it?
yeah. This feels as if it's been made an example
Or somebody's offended the wrong person.
Yeah.
Okay.
of. Okay, so there we go, so meeting close at 8:03.
Thank you very much.
The,
They had involved three.
oh, it was them.